Karen, the HOA president, never liked my wife. Not because of anything she'd done, but because she wasn't the type to bow to HOA authority. My wife grew up on a ranch, same as me. She's tough, independent, and yes, she carries. Out here in the country, it's as normal as wearing boots. One Saturday, my wife was walking back from the barn with her holstered sidearm on her hip. Perfectly legal, perfectly safe. Karen happened to be driving by in her SUV and slammed on the brakes like she'd just witnessed a crime. She jumped out, phone already in hand, and started shrieking. "You can't just walk around with a gun in this neighborhood. It's against HOA rules. I'm calling the police." My wife raised an eyebrow. "Go ahead. You'll be in for a surprise." Karen puffed up like a rooster. "Oh, you'll see. You're going to jail for this. Nobody's above HOA law." She dialed 911 on speaker, practically screaming into the phone. "There's a woman with a gun. She's threatening me." 10 minutes later, police cruisers rolled up the ranch drive. Karen stood by, smug grin plastered across her face. "Finally, she's going to get arrested," she whispered loud enough for everyone to hear. But when the officers stepped out, their entire demeanor changed the moment they saw my wife. "Chief," one of them said with a respectful nod. Karen's smile evaporated. "See, Chief?" she stammered. "That's right. My wife had just been sworn in as the county's new chief of police." My wife crossed her arms, cool as could be. "Karen here claims I was threatening her. Officers, did I break any laws by walking on my own property with a legally holstered sidearm?" Both officers shook their heads. "Not at all. Completely lawful." Karen's face went red. But HOA rules say." One officer cut her off. "Ma'am, HOA rules don't override state or federal law, and filing a false police report is a crime." Karen's jaw dropped. What? No, she's lying." My wife stepped closer, her badge catching the sunlight. "Karen, you've wasted department resources, made a false report, and harassed me on my own property. I could cuff you right now." Karen backpedaled so fast she nearly tripped over herself. I didn't mean it like that. I just, go home," my wife ordered. "And don't ever call in another bogus complaint. Next time, I'll make sure you spend the night in county lockup." Karen scurried back to her SUV like a whipped dog. The officers gave me a nod, then left with smirks on their faces. Word spread through the HOA like wildfire. The woman Karen had tried to get arrested was now the top cop in the county. From that day on, HOA meetings were noticeably quieter. Karen still strutted around pretending she had power, but everyone else knew better. The HOA's rules meant nothing compared to the law, and the law just happened to live on my ranch. As for my wife, she still carries on the ranch just like always. Only difference now, Karen crosses the street whenever she sees her coming. Last year, I had to spend 6 months overseas for work. Before leaving, I made sure everything was secured, fences repaired, and cattle tended to. I had a ranch hand checking in weekly. Everything was in order. But when I returned, I didn't recognize my own land. Where my fields once stretched, there were rows of cookie-cutter houses, sidewalks, streetlights, driveways, and bright banners that read, "Welcome to Oak Ridge Estates, Phase 2. 138 brand new homes, built directly on my property." I nearly ran my truck off the road. I stormed straight to the HOA clubhouse, where Karen, the president, was sipping iced tea like a queen on her throne. "You've got 10 seconds to explain why there are houses on my land," I growled. Karen smiled sweetly. "Oh, don't be so dramatic. The developer decided to expand, and your ranch land was perfect. Don't worry, you'll be compensated once the sales finalize." My blood boiled. "You built on MY property without consent. That's trespass, fraud, and theft." Karen laughed. "You weren't using it. Now families will enjoy it. You should be thanking us." I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just walked out because I knew something she didn't. See, the developer who originally built their subdivision? I'd gone to school with the CEO. And while the HOA thought they were cozy with him, they forgot one important detail. Their contracts only covered the lots already sold. They had zero rights to expand without purchasing new land. And they hadn't purchased mine, which meant every one of those 138 houses was sitting illegally on my ranch. I called the CEO. "Hey, you might want to check your records," I told him, "because your company just built phase 2 on land I still own." There was silence on the other end of the line, followed by a panicked, "What?" I sent him the deed, the surveys, and the aerial photos. Within hours, his legal team descended on the HOA like a pack of wolves. Turns out, the HOA board had forged documents claiming they had development rights. The contractor never verified ownership, they just built. That single mistake triggered one of the biggest lawsuits in county history. The HOA was sued for fraud. The developer sued them for damages. Homebuyers sued them for selling illegal lots. And me? I sued for land theft. In the end, the HOA was completely bankrupted. Karen and her board were personally liable for millions. Their homes were seized, their assets drained, and their reputations destroyed. As for the 138 new houses, the county condemned them. Some were bulldozed, others sat empty, rotting shells of a failed scam. My ranch hand and I tore down the cheap sidewalks and fences, and I reclaimed my land. Today, when I drive past that part of my ranch, it's peaceful again, just wide, open fields. A few remnants of driveways poke through the grass like scars, reminders of what Karen and her HOA tried to steal. They thought they could take my land while I was away. Instead, they lost everything, while I gained one of the most ironclad property rights cases in county history. My ranch stood long before their HOA, and it'll still be here long after they're gone.